Hello, everybody. So this is just a quick, fairly short update from JTC here. I do not desire this video to go viral at this time, quite yet. So it's just being labeled what it is currently, which is, random Brian Laundrie unlisted video. But I wanted to talk about the situation for just a moment here, because I think it's important to get some certain facts clarified right now. So around the time of, I would say early 2021, I confirmed that Brian Laundrie was officially stalking me somewhat. He was following me. I didn't know at the time what his last name was exactly, but I'd actually run into him before, once before, with another individual at the place where I normally would routinely exercise, and that's a story for another day. Anyway, I confirmed what was kind of going on, and that he was following me around and causing some interesting situations. And so my point in bringing that up is that there's more that's going on with the whole Brian Laundrie escapade and the whole situation that's surrounding that meets the eye. There's a certain account, which I can't get into the details of right now, but a certain account where he has kind of attempted to, do you want to use the term launder or secure illegal transactions from? That would be a good way to put it. And he's been confirmed to be the one who's been involved in that, with some other individuals. And one of the people who was also kind of just shadow stalking me from a distance was this man named Joseph Ferlazzo. So that's an interesting story in itself, because he has a friend in common with Brian, which is kind of interesting, but that's a story definitely for another day. Anyway, the point being that Mr. Laundrie was doing some certainly illegal things that are above and beyond kind of what they're telling in the official story. And so I just want the community to know and understand and recognize that this is quite a serious situation. And that's why I'm taking the caution to make sure that the video is mostly unlisted for now, as it'll be something that's going to be discussed on a podcast for certain. But the issues around Laundrie are definitely a little more complex than originally might have been assumed. And I've spoken to my friend before. He thinks that it's possible, because he was reading that book, The Invisible Man, about someone who faked his own death, that maybe, Laundrie disappeared and kind of faked his own death in some way. I would say that's certainly possible, but that's something that I'm not going to get into right now, right here, because that's not really the focus of this video. But from what I've seen, the forensic images I've seen, the evidence I've seen, and so on, including hard evidence and payment transactions going into certain places in Florida and in other areas, and even in another country, I do firmly believe possible. I would say very possible that Brian is hiding out and is, not gone whatsoever. It's hard to say right now at this juncture, but certainly the book that he was a big fan of, The Invisible Man, does point to the fact that he would likely not be gone. He would not be deceased, the way they're claiming. Anyway, this video is not really about Brian's exploits, although he's been involved in some illegal things, and certainly what appears to be attempted money laundering, extortion, and connection to some kind of drug trafficking of some type, which is above and beyond what anybody in the media is going to report on right now. I've looked into things in a much, much more concrete way based upon evidence and reported facts, and just some of my presumptions being, placed along the timeline of those facts. So the video here is not really about Brian. It was just a good way to be able to get this out there to the community. The topic of discussion that I'm going to bring up here is Jelani Day. Jelani Day has been confirmed by the coroner, apparently, in LaSalle County, Illinois, to have allegedly died from drowning. This is very fascinating to me because, of course, I happen to know that it would not be possible for Jelani Day to have died from just a random act of drowning. It would not only not be possible, it's likely quite impossible at this point for it to be just a random act of drowning. The reasons that I put this together is actually threefold. There is evidence to suggest from some earlier reports that someone witnessed Jelani coming out kind of to the pier area, which is over there in Peru, and they seem to be a credible witness. So, that's good. It's good hard evidence to be able to follow, at least from being able to have a starting point. But more than that, there's hard evidence linking a certain, I would say, shady individual, Mr. Stephen Bertolino, to be exact. I'll just come right out and say it. Through financial transactions to several different real estate development companies in Illinois and around Peru, Illinois, including with his brother, linked directly to, I'm just going to say for right now, a boating association, along with their affiliate enterprise, a specific boating association. Now, why is this so important? Because logs have confirmed a boat was registered and was actually taken out into the Illinois River, into that general area, around the night that Jelani Day disappeared, believe it or not. That's why it's important. I'm not going to name any of the specifics of who and where. His brother was heavily involved financially with this firm and also with certain, I would say, under-the-table arrangements of money in the Illinois area, including in Peru, in Bloomington. Specifically, we suspect now, based upon the hard evidence and also circumstantial evidence, that Jelani Day may have witnessed at least one bank robbery right there directly next door to Peru, Illinois, essentially right in that area that's right in between Peru and Bloomington. There was an account that should not have been opened that was over near Benton, Illinois, that belonged to a financial institution. I think it was Wells Fargo, that's being very, very heavily combed through and reviewed evidence-wise. But this robbery took place at a convenience store, and also, it appears, a bank, directly at the same time Jelani Day disappeared, which is interesting. But it doesn't prove anything until you look into the actual records of why the bank robbery was going on. And there are some interesting financial links there, is all I'm going to say on that. So getting back to the boating association. So the real estate deals that he cut, that Bertolino literally cut, and we have proof of that now for sure, linked directly to this boating association. And the boating association is Guess where? Right next door to where Jelani Day ended up smack down in the river. That's right. I'm not going to name the specific association and the people that are involved with it. That would not be wise right at this moment, but I want the community to know, for sleuths out there who are interested in starting to really piece the picture together, you may want to start looking at different boating companies and different boating harbor hideouts that are right there in Peru, Illinois, and in LaSalle County. I can tell you he did not die from drowning. There's absolutely no way. He was on board a boat. He was taken aboard that boat, most likely by people directly linked to Mr. Bertolino. And since it's not determined as of yet, there's still got to be some things combed through on that. The exact whereabouts right now of Stephen Bertolino on the day that Jelani officially disappeared. We cannot rule out the fact that he may have himself been on the boat, but either way, there were people who were directly linked to Mr. Bertolino's financial dealings with that particular company and also with the boating association itself, who took Jelani out there, and they most likely did in fact stab him while on the boat because there was some kind of residue, and some of the harbor police thought it might have been blood or something, but it was definitely there in the water, so it seems that he was most certainly killed, for sure. He did not die by drowning. That is the cover story. He most certainly, it appears, may have died directly on board a boat. And then after he was dead, for witnessing some of the activities that, almost anybody else would probably get killed for witnessing in regards to possible robberies at convenience stores and similar strange incidents that were just occurring around that area at the time, they got rid of him. That's it. And there was a crying girl there apparently on board the boat. There was a couple of other people, and they just decided to, it's still an assumption as of now because there has to be forensics done, but they probably just decided to kill him because, of course, that firm and that boat that was checked out and so on is directly and also indirectly financially tied to Mr. Bertolino, wouldn't you know it? So not only is some of it, at least in an off-the-cuff way, linked to Laundrie, this boating association and specifically the real estate deals that were going on is linked directly, meaning man-to-man, to Stephen Bertolino. And so he knew about Jelani Day at minimum. We don't know what else was really going on at the time. It's hard to say, at this point. There are ongoing investigations. I mean, there's things that have to be answered about this. But I can tell you this. One thing is 100% certain now. If you look into Illinois, you're going to find some shady things. That's 100% certain. And Jelani Day did not die by drowning. No. He absolutely did not die by drowning. He was dead before he hit the water. And although it's not confirmed yet, it is most assuredly more and more likely that he indeed was killed on one of these boats that was out on the Illinois River. Now, they were bringing different boats out on the Illinois River at the time. But if they had a particular problem with Mr. Day for some other reason that hasn't been explored yet, because there's other parts of the investigation that really have to get completed, then it's very plausible they would have brought him out on the boat. They gave him a chance, just don't talk anymore. And if he kept on talking or he kept on causing issues, then they were just going to go ahead and off him and then throw him in the river. And most likely, it's looking more and more in the perspective of evidence, it's looking more and more likely that was the scenario, is that he was murdered for certain things, nobody has any business knowing about in Illinois. And it's looking more and more likely that Bertolino covered it up. So anyway, just wanted in the community, to know some more what's going on. Just know, guys, Jelani Day, he did not die by drowning. No. Officially, he did not die. Well, he didn't die just by drowning in the water. There's a little more to it than that, and it starts with the capital letter M for murder. Yeah, so, anyway, take care. Peace out.